Sophie, my name is Voigt, and my today's guest is a content publisher of European Space Agency and an expert of digital world. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. We're not by accident at the observatory, astronomical observatory in Rome. Hope you like it. Zodiac is the place where we are at. I want to ask you a few questions about the digital world and how is it revolutionizing and what is the path, the dynamics of the progress.
Mm-hmm.
So what did digital revolutionize the way we communicate in these days? And what are the positive outcomes?
Okay. Well, I think there's a lot to that question because the way we communicate nowadays has nothing to do with the way our parents or our grandparents used to communicate. And now we can have relationships that are not only in the same city where you live or in the same country that you live in, but it can go beyond that and it's without any borders. It has no borders and it goes even beyond this planet. but yeah, personally, I gotta thank the internet that I've been able to create like friendship, like very strong friendships and people that I would call family that are in places like Australia, Japan, Algeria or Mexico. And all this has come together because of the internet. So I think at a personal level, but also in a broader aspect, I think this is the biggest thing that it has done for us as a humanity and as a social animals.
So what is it revolutionizing exactly? What is the digital world, like in short words?
Well, for some people it's their entire world. Some people live in it and they decide to only be there and not be in the real world. And for others is a tool, a place where you work, a place where you meet people, a place even where you meet love. It's a place where you can buy, and I would say, or at least I remember the first time I went to the internet, it was 1998, and I remember the feeling of having the entire world in my hands. I was 11 and I still remember that thing of, wow, I can go anywhere in the world. I can listen to the radio anywhere in the world. And that was something that it was humbling and amazing. Now this is changing because countries decide to create barriers and to, you see what's going on in Iran right now where they've shut the internet for some days, or China or Europe. It's now.
Yeah, we see the consequences of these.
I mean, things need to be controlled, but I like the feeling of having a place that it's borderless and it has no barriers. Because I see the world like that anyway. But and in my opinion, the feeling for me for digital is that place that it has no borders and you can do anything.
It's one world. It's digitalization also. How do you see digitalization as a process? What is the dynamics of it?
Well, depends on how old you are, I think. Some people remember a life without this digital communication, and others are not able because it's their lives.
Some people remember 98 and I was getting bored.
Exactly. It's like that. And when you talk to your parents, you see how they are, but it depends on the country, depends on so many things. But I've noticed how some people, particularly in the 50s, 60s, they've become even more obsessed with, for instance, WhatsApp, so private messaging.
Yeah.
They've become more obsessed than some people my age. I'm like, wow.
Taking advantage of the technology, what the world has to offer. Exactly. What do we have to offer? What the digital world has to offer?
Well, I would say that freedom of communication, and also it's cheaper. Because back in the day, last weekend I went to Switzerland, and in Switzerland, they don't have this agreement with the other countries of the EU where you can use your data service for communicating, all right? So I saw the price of sending a message somewhere outside of Switzerland and I was like, wow, that is freaking expensive. And now if you travel somewhere where you have Wi-Fi or internet, it's so cheap to communicate anywhere, and so I think it's make everything more accessible, and it's like democratization of communication.
Yeah, and fair trade. Yeah.
Yeah, and people can open their own online shop, and they can sell their stuff, and they don't need to have a big shop where they have to pay the rent and then have somewhere there where no, you just need a place online where you can sell your stuff.
So what is the most significant, this one most significant value that digitalization can bring to the world?
Bringing us closer.
Bringing us closer?
Yeah, I
so
would
that's
say
how you see it?
Yeah, I think, well, it really depends on how people use it, right?
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the good thing about this is that it makes us more aware of each other. Like right now, I can be on Instagram and I can follow this person that is in Syria or in Japan or in Bali or in Tuvalu, and it's people that I don't know personally, but it can show me other parts of the world, and it feels like we are one big family, at least to me. But,
That's a big word.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty big family. So how do you see how social media, because you're working in social media mostly, right?
Yeah.
So do you see that the increasing amount of people using this technology, or are we gonna come up to this point that we're gonna have to go on a detox, like digital detox someday?
Well, yeah, that is also something that I think changes a lot between communities. I think in the Western world, people, they are aware now of the well-being of the mind, well-being, the body, and all that stuff. It's like a trend, the digital detox, no?
Yeah.
But there are other parts of the world where I don't see that happening. Particularly in Asia, for instance. I went to Japan last year, and people were on their phone like this all the time, and I didn't see anybody like putting it down.
Right.
Some people were sleeping, but that's a different thing. Personally, because I work with social media, I'm always with the computer, and then with my phone, and then with the iPad, and with everything. I do put my phone down, and one thing that I want to do, I used to do that, let's go to a restaurant and take a picture of my food. Oh yeah, and then put it on Instagram and do these and that and that. And then I was like, no, I'm not enjoying, like now the food is cold. Because I'm taking the perfect picture with the perfect light and everything. The food is cold. No, I want to enjoy it. So
you're not enjoying.
Yeah, what I've done is that I've put my phone down and I use it only when I'm with someone, I'm with that person. That's a personal choice, of course, and it varies on different people, but I think is the healthiest way of behaving, because otherwise you're with people but you're not with them, and
you're not present.
Exactly, and I think it's very important.
It is. And so what is it like? Let me fast forward to what you're doing at the moment, because obviously you did so many things around the digital content publishing. What is it like to be in charge of the communication to so many people, because you're serving for, I can say serving,
yeah.
if you permit me, to 1 million point, I don't know, 4 or 5.
Almost 4, yeah.
Million people, which is pretty a big amount, like a pretty serious amount of people. So what is the aspect of the responsibility and you know, and the value that you're trying to share with others?
Okay, well, that's a big question, but yeah, I think I can answer it. I work for a company that gives service to the European Space Agency. I started working for the European Space Agency as a trainee for my master's, and then I became a part of a company, Euroports, that gives service to the European Space Agency, and there, I am one of many that are doing communications for the agency. And in my role, I'm helping Instagram with the Instagram account and the YouTube account.
Yeah.
And with Instagram particularly, it's very interesting because, you know, Instagram is the place where everybody goes to have fun, unwind. They are on the bus and they're like scrolling. See, usually people go there to relax and also to creep on their crushes, because people do that.
Spy.
Yeah. So what I try to do there is that I try to bring the tagline that I came up with is to bring space to the palm of your hand, and that
was yours.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was nice because it's the whole thing. Like, space is huge, but we are part of it, and most people, when they're on the bus, when they are on the toilet, they don't realize this, and I think that is something nice. I see
love
myself,
it actually, because you're on your phone and you're reading this, and you actually have your phone in the palm of your hands, and then you're. Yeah, it's a nice tagline, which I didn't know you actually created, because I saw it obviously.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, but the work is not only mine, because the thing is that I have to adapt content that other people create for the platform, and I have a lot of fun, because sometimes you have content that is not that easy to put on Instagram, because Instagram has to be pretty, right? And it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm happy to take on, because it is fun. And then you see how people react to it also.
You interact with them.
Yes, yeah, that is, for me, is the best part. When you have DMs, like people sliding on your DMs. When you have people, like this week there was this girl, she was 13, and she shared that we have an astronaut that is going to be doing a spacewalk. And I said, thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it with your people. And she was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that you replied to my comment. I'm 13 years old and I'm Steven. I want to become an astronaut. Thank you so much. And when I get those messages, I'm like, wow, this is I'm doing something that.
This is why we're doing this.
Yeah. People really value this, and well, the European Space Agency is a public entity. It's 22 member states and all that. And everything is funded with public money, so it's paid by taxpayers. It's paid by people, so it's for the people. It's the way I see it.
It's a public service.
Exactly.
Well, I love what you said a moment ago. So when you engage with people on your social media accounts, what does it take to create like the most fascinating, interesting posts? Like. I'm trying to imagine that. I also do some sort of social media activities, and I'm trying to understand what does it take to create such posts on the level of expert knowledge and mixing these two, expert and entertainment.
Yeah, because that is the key, exactly. You have to have the balance between the two. It has to be pretty. It has to be catchy, but also it has to be informative, because that is the whole point of, if you put a nice picture of a galaxy, but I don't say much about the galaxy, then what is the point, right? Yeah, some eye candy for your eye, but you want to have something more.
Yeah.
So the way I usually do it is that I, particularly for the weekend, so yesterday, Friday, right? I see the content that I have, that all the editors have created, all the articles that they've written, and I see all the visuals that I have.
Right.
And then I select based on experience and also on data. I take a close look to all the content that I publish and how it behaves and how people behave with it. And then with all that, I find, or I think I found, but it's always changing.
Yeah.
The right balance between being engaging, entertaining, and also nice.
And also knowledgeable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's becoming sort of an educational platform
exactly.
For people.
And if you always want to learn more, you can always go to the website, and that's how I do it. I try to combine the stories functionality to make people to go to the website if they want really to know more about it.
Sure. Do you have the group of fans that are actually experts and they're engaging in in what you're publishing? Is there a community of experts that is also linked to social media?
Well, that really depends on the account. I also take, so as I started as a trainee for
Yeah.
the European Space Agency, and my project was an Instagram account. I created an account called Your ESA, and that from the beginning it was a community per se, and it's a community where I only post pictures and videos that people take, and they use a hashtag Your ESA.
Yeah.
So there you get a lot of enthusiasts about space and about astronomy and about photography, that they come together and they help each other. And the best thing about that, because I have to go through their profiles to ask them for permission to post their content that they've tagged, I see how they evolve. And yesterday I saw this guy that I've seen from the beginning. He was with this small telescope taking pictures of the moon in Brno in Czech Republic, and now he's done these amazing captures. Or some people they've met even in real life, they become friends. There's a kid in Brooklyn that was learning to do astrophotography, and then this guy in Australia started helping him out and saying, you should do this in post-production to increase the contrast. That I see it more than in the main ESA one, because the main one is mostly people use it as a point of information.
Right.
So it's a different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I try to make a community there, but it is harder because there is more like a place where you communicate what ESA is doing and the things that ESA is discovering.
Sure.
So it's kind of different.
Course.
But there are some people there that they are regular, and then you see the comments and they're there.
So it's more informative.
Yeah.
And your ESA, I will try to drop the tag of your account, is the community.
Yeah.
So how do you see the astro community across the globe?
It is wide, and some isn't even intense. Like some people are really passionate about it, like really passionate about it.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's really cool when you see that. It's really cool when you see all these people coming together for something they love. It's like all the people that go to the Comic-Con to see a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Some people are like that with space. And at ESA, they organize these open days where the biggest one is in the Netherlands, in Aztec. And more than 3,000 people, they go there. And I was lucky enough to be there 2 years ago to cover it for Instagram. And you see all the people from all ages, from all over the world coming there to see it. And you see their faces. Like, for me, the most magical thing there was seeing the faces of everybody was happy.
Because it was your original project too, right?
Well, no, this wasn't in your ESA. This was the open day for the agency.
Oh.
And some people from your ESA went there because I saw their stories as well. But when I was there covering for Instagram for ESA, the ESA channel, I was with another colleague. We were walking all over the place, taking pictures, filming videos, talking to people that work for ESA, astronauts as well, and also citizens that they were there enjoying it.
Sure.
And the face of the kids, the face of the parents, the face of everybody there, the vibe was so nice that I was like, wow, this is cool. And this year, it was the first time they did it in Spain, and I went there, and also it was very interesting to see all that, because people are excited.
Yeah, and do you see an increasing amount of people being
interested in all
interested and passionate about space exploration?
Yeah, well, that is a tough question to answer for me, because I'm in about the bubbles, the communication bubbles. I would say that the people that are passionate about it, they are very passionate about it, but on a daily basis, I don't really know, because I talk to people on the street without saying that I work where I work, and sometimes it feels like people prefer to talk about their favorite singer or actor or who's going out with than
it takes a lot of reading and actually it takes a lot of effort to know something about, and you need discipline, you need a lot of knowledge, but you have to be book smart to know something about space.
I don't think so, because for instance, I grew up in Lanzarote in the Canary Islands, right? And there, because there are 2 observatories in 2 of the islands, the sky is protected. So I was lucky enough to live in a place when I was a kid where I was able to see the stars, to see them really well. And that's what interested me about space. I was like 6, 8, 9, and I asked my mom for my birthday to buy me these books about the stars, and I like the myths also behind the stars and all the stuff, But you don't need to be an astrophysicist to be interested in space. You
Sure.
need to be an engineer to be interested in space. You just need to be interested in it.
But to understand it is a little different.
To understand it, like our job, like me and the entire communication department of ESA and other agencies as well, is to bring space and science closer to the people and make it more accessible to everybody. And that's what I try to do with Instagram and well, my colleagues as well.
Last question. In what way does the space industry enrich the humanity?
Oh, space is everywhere.
Your view.
Yeah, but space, it is everywhere, and it's something that most people don't think about. Like, we're on the phone, and I want to go to this place that I've never been to. I want to go to this restaurant that I've never been to. How can I do it? I go to my phone, I open my map app, and then, hey, it takes 26 minutes if I take this bus and if I go here. All this, it's using a navigation system that it's in space. You have plenty of navigation systems. You have GPS, you have Galileo, you have a Russian system, which name I don't remember, and it's covering the entire world. Also, in telemedicine, like it's in so many parts of our life that we do not think of, but it's present. It's there. From
like you said, we're part of space. We have to feel like.
Yeah, and we're literally in a big space in a big spaceship. Like our planet, it is a spaceship. It is orbiting our sun, but we are just in this small rocky planet going around a star that is going around a black hole in this galaxy that we call the Milky Way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you address to the young people, seeking new challenges into space?
Well, ESA, one of the things that they have, and recently was the 15th of November where they released the opportunities. They have the Voigt program, for instance, and that is something that is really cool. It's a young graduate trainee, so if you are doing your master's, you can apply for this, and when you're a graduate, you can work for the European Space Agency. And most people think that it's only astrophysicists and astronauts, but no, it's so much more. You can be a lawyer, you can be an economist, you can be an HR person, communication. Like I study communication and then international relations in communication. So there are so many disciplines because space is everywhere. Medicine, like they have this. I think it's really cool. They have these doctor they send to Antarctica for 6 months.
Yeah.
And they send this person there, and it's always a student. And it's not a student, but it's it's a person that is doing studies. Yeah. And they send the person there to see how isolation affects the human brain and behavior, because you're in a closed space with people for 6 months. Amazing. And you have ice.
Is this a part of training for the astronauts?
In this case, it's doing experiments to see how it affects humans, and this is used also for astronauts, yes. Right. And then you have the astronaut training that the people that are selected to become astronauts are taking on, which is also super interesting. One of the things that they do it in Italy, and they do it in the Canary Islands, and they did it also this year in Norway, is this training called Pangea and Caves. So they send astronauts from, this year it was a guy from Russia, 3 people from NASA, so Americans, one person, Alexander Gust, who's German from ESA, and a Japanese astronaut, and they put them together in a cave. And they were in a cave that they couldn't leave this cave. It was in Slovenia. They couldn't leave the cave for 1 week. And they were testing technology that it will be used in the future for space exploration. Because one of the things that if we want to live like in the moon or in Mars, on Mars, we will have to, one of the theories that we will have to be underground because we need some protection from cosmic radiation, right? So how is that going to be? How are we going to be able to live there with not that much sunlight? How is that going to affect us as humans? How is it going to affect our interactions with different people from different backgrounds, different parts of the world, different cultures, different languages? Yeah. All that has been tested, and I think it's fascinating.
I hope it's going to be all unified and universal and accessible, more accessible and more. I thank you so much for this
been my pleasure.
Amazing, precious conversation, and may we live living in interesting times.
Yeah, we are, and the future is so bright. Like, there's so much ahead of us.
The future is now.
Yeah.